ain't know I've been recording this whole time.
Stop it.
This is good content.
This is great content.
Everybody, what's up? It's LK, the God of the Fire Squad. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. One, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, just like me. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Gang.
Tonight.
All right. Also, we have a special guest back for the second time. She was with us on the coveted episode of Smoke and Fire, where we were talking about a lot of egregious stuff and giving our opinions on parenthood. Whitney.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I was choking on chicken wings.
Oh man.
That's the intro. That's the intro. All
right, we're good. Channel Orange. I'm your host, LK the God, the DD, the mogul, you know, the host, the unadulterated, the super opinionated host himself. I'm here with my co-host of the show, Puffco Poppy. Tell him what we puffing on the day.
East Coast Sour Diesel is going to be the rosin of the day, man. Evermore. That's what we're doing, man. It's one of the best that they've done, in my opinion. My humble opinion.
Well, I know you can't show biases because you work in the industry, but where is Evermore on the hierarchy of dabs and grow houses?
Sitting at the top right now. Sitting at the top of the game, man.
Okay.
Some other people are trying to make some strides. So I see some people trying to compete, but anybody fucking with Evermore on the rosin, concentrates, cake batters, high end shit. You can't beat them, man. My fridge speaks for itself, man.
All Evermore shit. Yeah, he does have a lot of Evermore shit. I got some grassroots here. I got what is that? Yeah, Nature's Heritage around here somewhere. But shouts to Evermore, shouts to Nature's Heritage, shouts to Grassroots, shouts to District Cannabis, shouts to Jova, and shouts to the Super Dab Bros. When you come to Jova, look for either Dab Daddy Don or Puffco Poppy. They'll find you everything you need, just like he's looking for stuff right now. He'll find it for you just like that, just that quick. He'll find it for you. All right, so let's get started. As you know, on this show, me and my boy Jizzle, we always break down the NBA first before we veer off into the fantasy world that we do love. But the association. As we're on a heavy tank for Vic sweepstakes, Dame scored 71 on a bunch of teenagers. Shouts to them. They're getting spanked right now by an actual team, which is hilarious. What else we got? LeBron's injured as they improve their roster and try to get a good seeding in the playoffs and hopefully get out of the play-in. They're definitely going to the play-in.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting interesting. The West is tight, but you know, without LeBron, the Lakers went from wait a minute, they might be able to make a run to Anthony Davis. Don't look like he can carry a team.
And if he does try to carry it, his legs break underneath the
explode, just complete, just Ghost. You remember that scene in Ghost in the Shell when she's trying to lift the tank or whatever? It's like that, Joe. Like just his limbs will just completely obliterate. But nah, man. I like the Lakers made some good trades. They got off of Westbrook, he's cursed the Clippers lately to
Yeah, that's definitely on the rundown. The Clippers. I think I saw a stat that he's lost 18 straight games since being a starter.
Yep,
Like
they're
just
0
period.
4. 0 4 ski.
Like I didn't really want. I love Russ as a player and what he brings to the game and brought to the game. But me being a Clippers fan, I didn't understand why we needed him if we did actually need him, because we just picked up Bones Highland. You still have Terrence Mann, whose progression has been a whole lot more than what we accounted for in the first place, which I did like him as a starter being the point. And then we have Highland. So do we necessarily need Russ?
You
That was
didn't,
my
but now
initial
you're
thought.
stuck with him. Like I said, did you
Now we're
see that
stuck with him.
defense that fucking Draymond was playing on him last night? This man wasn't within 50 feet of this man, it looked like. And Russ still wouldn't shoot. And I love the quote that Draymond, where it's just like, it wasn't about anything more than getting in his head psychologically. Like in basketball, like Draymond said, you're supposed to take the open shot. If you're open every play, that's gonna fuck with your head. And that man is just wide the fuck open.
Draymond ain't scared to take that shot. He can't shoot that well,
even
but he's not scared.
he would have launched that shit with the backpack on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Dora's backpack. He would shoot that shit with Dora's backpack on.
And even like I said, I see Isaiah Thomas was tweeting too, like Russ and OKC will shoot that even if he's 1 for 58. He's he's still launching that jump. So it's clearly a confidence, thing at this point. Cause like, hey, bro, I wish I pulled that bitch. Like, I'm open enough to hit that the NBA, bro. Like, there's no one. That's just embarrassing. That's some Ben Simmons ass defense playing on you, where you're just not even a remote threat to shoot the ball.
But what else are they? So you can't shoot, bruh. We even do that on the blacktop. If you can't shoot, nigga, I'm gonna let you go ahead. Hand your business.
He could shoot better than that, though, man. He at least shooting like 30%, bro. Like, I'm launching, like, bro. That's utterly disrespectful, bro.
Live and die. If we got to live with his shooting ability, bet we won. We won the game. And I'm a Russ fan. I'm a Clippers fan, but I didn't really. I think this is just a rental for the year, and we go out and seek like a good. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's not bad. I'm not gonna say he's bad. Seek out a point guard. Even if we looking in that direction, because me honestly, I'm kind of done with Marcus Morris. Getting Morris out there, he costs too much, and he's in the Zubac thing, we can't even have Zubac in the game for the final 2 minutes because he's just getting slid all over the place, and then he's getting switched on, and then Luka's shooting threes in his face. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. Me personally, let me dispel the myth right now. As a Clippers fan, CJ, everybody has a certain level of faith in the Clippers. And me, as a Clippers fan, I want to tell everybody, do not have the Clippers. Do not have faith in the Clippers this season. Not this season, no.
Yeah, I don't believe in them either. I see some of that team is just like, it's almost like they got too many guys, and then I think the Russ move was just the wrong.
That's what I can say.
It was just like you needed a point guard, and you got.
We have 3 now.
But you really got one. Who your other point guards? I mean, you got Bones, I guess.
They had Terrence Mann at the one.
Terrence Mann I saw he was playing point guard for a while. It's not a real point guard though. Like, I mean, they had him playing the one, and that was weird. Which is why I feel like they got a point guard, but like they got Russ.
This one.
I don't know why, but like, I mean.
And then they got Bones. And then, like you said, they have too many players. I really feel like that's the problem. We have too many niggas.
Robert Covington can't even get no minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's good.
You can't get no burn. Can't get no burn. And I love Robert Covington. I love what he does, but he just can't get no burn with all these Bamas. I mean, Bamas. That's funny. That's DMV slang, everybody. All right. Anything else in the NBA section?
I mean, like I said, we got KD on the Suns, just looking
KD
like KD
on the Suns,
walking 20 piece.
Like
I mean, the Wizards are still just the most mediocre, fucking embarrassing ass team I've seen in a minute. Just love mediocrity. They're just living. Bradley Beal looks like the 3rd best player on the team.
I mean, at this point, maybe they should give teams credit for making the play-in.
Nah, man. Wizards fans are
No.
sick. Yeah, fucking Tommy Shepard's like, the ultimate goal is to make the playoffs. Like, really? To make the playoffs? I mean, a lot of niggas make the playoffs, bro. That ain't shit that really. Okay, if that's the ultimate goal, so you're not trying to win a ring?
10th, you in a play-in. If you make 10th spot, shit.
I just hate their love of mediocrity. They're going to be picking between 10 and 15 in the draft for the rest of existence. Just being mediocre as fuck. Just getting annihilated in the first round by actual contending teams. So that's my frustration with the Wizards and their inability to develop young talent. They gave up on Rui. Denny looks like, all right, he's all right. But, like, I mean, Kisper's all right. You know, they just got a bunch of all right guys. Like, oh, you got a bunch of
a bunch of all right guys.
A bunch of all right, just rotation guys. Like, I don't know. They're never bad enough to get a big talent. Or they just fuck up. They could have drafted Tyrese Halliburton. They could have drafted Jalen Williams, who's been cooking from my Thunder. And it's like, Jalen Williams out here fucking dropping 27 and 8 and fucking shot creating out here fucking hooping. They got Johnny Davis can't even get off the bench for the go-go. So the Wizards need to think about player development and drafting.
Something that's happening. Yeah. Shout outs to KP, former Knick. He's been bounced around a couple times, you know, but he still has a couple flashes in the pad.
Not even flashes.
The unicorn.
Porzingis is having a fantastic season. Like, for real. He looks like a top 25 player again. Porzingis he's been fantastic on the defensive end, erasing shots. He's shooting the three grade. He's hitting niggas with step backs and all types. Like, that's one of the bright spots of the Wizards season. That's why I said the Bradley Beal looks like their third best player because Kuzma and Porzingis have had fantastic seasons. The issue is the rest of the team. Those two niggas is open. It
depends on how you feel about Marcus Morris and Kispert, and they let go of Will Barton. Took him out the pasture. Will Barton's on a different team now, I think.
He's on Toronto.
Oh yeah, Toronto. There it is. All right. Anything else?
I lost all audio. Hello.
All right, shifting gears. Let's talk about the recent Marvel movie because we haven't got to it. Let's be the latest review possible. Quantumania. Antman. Let's just get to the shits. She fucked Kang. I feel like she fucked Kang. She gave that nigga some pussy. She said she been down there for 30 years. 30 years is a long time. And he's an attractive black male. I think it went down.
I mean, it could have. They left it open-ended, man. Like, I mean, hey, man, people got needs, man. Kang got Kang down there, you know, conquering, doing what he does.
Conquering. Like, that could be why she had so much trepidation to tell people, like, who he really is. Like, oh, listen, like, how could you explain that situation? Like, oh, guys, this dude I met in a quantum realm, you know, we was down there, you know, and he's a super criminal now. Hey, I mean, that's kind of how it would go down. How good was the actual movie? I liked it more than most because of the macro of it and what it means for the actual overall for the MCU, because this could solve a bunch of problems, right, that we've been having in recent MCU movies where it was kind of rudderless, especially after Endgame. It was kind of, the MCU was kind of rudderless and we didn't know what direction we were going in, and the movies were subpar. And we didn't know if we were even going to get any of these people ever again in a publication. Like, for example, we haven't heard anything about Eternals since that movie came out. We don't know if we even want to see these niggas again. So I think Kang and his variants can be a good surrogate for people to get back into the MCU at large. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's lost a lot of steam, but people are down for Kang, are down for
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors' portrayal. But I don't know. I still think they've got to bring it, man. People are losing interest over their 20 plus movies in. We've got a formula. The formula is getting a little stale, honestly. The
Yeah.
tone of it, the quippiness, the CGI shit shows at the end of every, it just is what it is, and it's like it's fine. I'm like with you. Like I think I enjoyed it more than most. I was fine. Like I had a decent time with Quantumania, but like not super memorable. Same thing. Like I think Antman might have had the most mid trilogy I've ever seen. Like for something that warranted 3 movies, where it's like, all right, we got 3 of these, and all 3 were all right. Like they're fine. First one was kind of fun.
This is. I mean, okay. For what it's worth, I'm gonna jump out the window here. I think Ant-Man's trilogy is better than Thor's quadrilogy, if that's even a word.
Thor, I mean, I just hate that last movie so much. The more I ponder on Thor: Love and Thunder, the more I think it's just like that Joan almost lost me from the MCU. That almost got me out of there, man.
Think about it like this. Think about what you bring to the table, right? You bring Thor 1, which is kind of critically panned depending on how much you like about Norse mythology.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't care.
But, yeah. Thor 2, critically panned, like completely critically panned. People don't even watch that movie on purpose unless they just scroll on the TNT by accident.
I fell asleep in the theater watching that show.
You went to the Jesus. I don't think I saw that in the theater. Did I?
Dark World, yeah. The first MCU movie that put me to sleep.
And then you got Ragnarok, which is, it is what it is. It's an amazing movie. That's like probably one of the most watched MCU movies, right? And then you have Love and Thunder. So that's not even a really good crop to argue against Ant-Man, which are like C minuses at most, all of them.
Yeah. I'll see C. They're in the C range. See something.
Yeah.
Minus the C plus. That's like all the movies in the Ant-Man franchise.
Because even the Captain America trilogy, you have Captain America 1, which is is good. Then you have Winter Soldier, which is like top tier to me personally, and people, the wide majority likes it. And 3, which is Civil War, which is basically it's cheating because it's an Avengers movie, basically. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. Quantumania. What else we got? What do you think this means for the MCU? All the Kangs. Where do you think they will show up? And give us some backstory on all the Kang and his variants, because I think that's important.
I mean, I'm not super big in the Kang as a villain. I really like what they did with he was in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They had a little Kang arc, but he's time traveler. They showed a few different Kangs. It looked like that was a Mortis at the end, one of the elder Kangs. But all the Kangs are just different Kangs. Like they retconned a lot of the old time travelers in the MCU stories just to be Kang. So Rama Tut was not supposed to be Kang at first, but then they retconned it to be like, yeah, this nigga's just Kang. Kang just be going back in time and just be doing shit, bro. Yeah. He's on his master shit from Doctor Who, where there's all different versions of him through the timeline. Sometimes he's a pharaoh going back and using it, but he has no powers. All he has is advanced tech. He just got super tech, and like he is an asshole. He is usually a descendant of Reed Richards, Nathaniel Richards. There's a whole thing with the Young Avengers where he came back in time and was Iron Lad. I don't know if we're gonna do some shit like that. I don't know all the Kangs. They did some, Easter egg videos. Now we watching New Rock Stars and Screen Crush and all that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe having pointed out all the Kangs that they think they found and shit like that. So I don't know, man. I think we're gonna see most of that in the Kang Dynasty. Then I think in Secret Wars we'll probably deal with the Kang Prime that we dealt with here. Like the one from the Conqueror, I guess. Kang the Conqueror, I think we're gonna be dealing with in Secret Wars. He might come back and play that Doctor Doom role.
Ooh.
for Secret Wars. But I don't know, man. Like I said, they could do a lot of different directions. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, so if they go in that direction, it'll be cool. I like the theory that Kang will kill Ant-Man when he comes back. That should be the first thing he does. Is a shocking thing since Ant-Man kind of, was the person that imprisoned him.
Kind of should have did it this movie. That would have added some more a little panache to this movie, some stakes.
Yeah, I heard they did reshoots to because I heard at the end of the movie that the Ant-Man and the Wasp are supposed to be trapped in the quantum realm, and then they let them escape. And it was just like, wow, like that would have been a better ending. That there were some consequences.
Would have been a greater ending, yeah.
Because at the end of the movie, it's like, I don't have to win, we both have to lose. In this epic moment where Scott makes a sacrifice, and then they just open the door and they just go home and shit. And it's just like, wow.
Even the way it was billed in a trailer. It's like, oh, I don't like what you said. Like, okay, somebody's gonna die.
Or he gets them both trapped there, and that's like heroic sacrifice that Ant-Man. Also, the Wasp was barely in this movie. It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And maybe big moments. I forgot the Wasp.
That Wasp. They were talking about the other Wasp.
Certainly forgot that the Wasp was supposed to even be in this movie. So
yeah, she didn't get a lot of screen time. I mean, but I did like the moment when they actually became an ant colony, when they all realized that he was doing it for Cassie, to get back Cassie or whatever. It was like, oh, that's our purpose. We all as a collective want to help you get to your daughter, because that's our daughter too. I like that when they formed a little, pyramid and stuff. I like that.
That was cool. That was a good moment.
I want to address something in the movie. They brought in William Jackson Harper from The Good Place. I mean, a lot of people watch that show, and he's a big name actor, and they kind of made him play in like a throwaway role. So I'm kind of like, why do that when he could have played somebody we're actually going to, you know what I'm saying? He would have been a good Reed Richards. Like, he would have been amazing Reed Richards, actually, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of these seats have got to get filled, and I think you can't just get rid of talent just like that, just on a throwaway character, for what it's worth. What else is interesting about this movie? Oh, Loki, before we're gonna get in Loki season 2. I think that's interesting.
We got the Loki tease. So yeah, that'll be cool. That was probably one of the better Marvel shows. So we'll see. I'm not excited for too much of the shows and stuff coming up, honestly. But like, I'm down for Loki season 2, see what they do with it. The connections where they can really lean into Victor Timely, the Kang stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, that's going to be big connective tissue to whatever is happening, going forward with the MCU, man. So we'll see, man. I just want to be wowed by the MCU again. I want to see a movie that's over, a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. I just haven't got that.
Oof. I don't even think that's possible anymore.
Yeah, it's just it's like an obligation, like, oh, another one. Let's see where this is going, kind of, more than like I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, I don't even know if they could make those anymore, man. All right. So, Quantumania, final score for me. I think I said it was 81 flames out of 100 flames. 81.
I'm going to go 70.
70?
It's a C. It was fine. It was cool.
It's a solid C, Yeah.
Stuff I like, stuff I didn't like, but, overall entertained.
All right. Shifting gears to another Disney property that just came back yesterday. Mandalorian. It's back. This is the way. Let's just jump on. Okay, so he can't be a Mandalorian again because he took his helmet off? Because he took it off a few times so far.
Yeah, because he was a part of Death Watch, and Death Watch, they're different from the rest of the Mandalorians. They're like a death cult. They're called militaristic. They be wilding. So you can't take your helmet off in Death Watch. He did that shit at the end of the Mando season 2 or whatever, with Grogu.
Mm.
And then, a lot of people are confused because they didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett because it wasn't that good. And but it had basically 2 Mandalorian episodes at the end of the Book of Boba Fett.
I watched those episodes.
Yeah, for no fucking reason. They're the best. The best part of the Book of Boba Fett were the episodes that didn't have a lot of Boba Fett. But so basically, he gets Grogu back from Luke in the Book of Boba Fett. So that's where we catch up with them. And and also in the Book of Boba Fett, he goes back to the armor, like he says, and he gets a side quest to go bathe in the living waters and under the mines of Mandalore to cleanse himself. Which I like that Bo-Katan is also like, you guys are fucking crazy. That's just regular water, right? You guys are just religious idiots. Yeah. And he's just like, nigga, that's just water, bro. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You bathed in this shit, like. But that just shows
apparently he still has a sword too.
Yeah, he's got the Darksaber. Like, he's been using it. Like, why not, man? She wouldn't take it. And now she's like, yeah, because I didn't have it. They wouldn't follow me. It's like, man, I tried to give it to you, bro. But then they've established that it has to be taken through combat, something that they didn't establish back in the Clone Wars when she got it in the first place. Bo-Katan got it from Sabine. And just, maybe, but then they play that up as that's why they didn't respect her when she had it. Because she didn't win it in combat. Somebody just gave it to her. So there's like, you're not real. You didn't really earn it. So it's this weird place where Bo-Katan's being annoying because he didn't want it. They could have just lied and been like, yeah, bro, she beat me in combat and got the saber, bro, here. Because the whole time he was like, I don't want this shit, take it. And she's like, no, I can't take it this way. It has to be. I was like, all right, bro, like just say you did it that way. Just take the fucking saber, dog. It ain't that important to me. So he's got it. It's cool because now we have a Mandalorian with the fucking Darksaber, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The coolest shit ever.
They attacked a giant crocodile, or they were getting attacked by a giant crocodile.
That was random as shit, but I think that was meant to demonstrate that Death Watch, like, what's left of Death Watch or whatever clan that they have is like they're on the run and there's no place really safe for them. Like they trying to set up in all these places and it's just like, let's set up over here. Oh shit, giant fucking crocodile turtle thing. Oh shit, got to keep it moving. But it's showing you they're still cranking, they're still indoctrinating new younglings. They're finding little niggas and getting them little helmets and just being like, hey nigga, never take this off, man.
Okay, so quick question. When is that like because he has to take it off when his head grows because he's a child. There's a lot of logistics behind that.
Well, you can't take it off in front of others. You can take your helmet off. You gotta like
okay.
But you can't remove it in front of anyone else.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right. What else we got for Mando? What do you think Grogu's first words are going to be?
I don't know.
Mando.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
I print money. Yeah. I print money for Disney.
Joe, where's Ellie? Head ass. So why do you think he didn't? I mean, he's on a quest to get redeemed as a Mandalorian, so that's why he didn't become the sheriff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's like I said again, he's so still into his old ways, and it's like his religion of being in Death Watch, and it's like he's got to redeem himself as a true Mandalorian. So we'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see where Bo-Katan plays into this, or if Mandalore is even habitable. They say, is it poisoned? There's a whole thing with the droid. He's trying to revive Taika Waititi in droid form.
Oh yeah, that is Taika Waititi.
So we'll see what happens if he can get IG-11 back. That'll be an interesting plot line to follow. He's run afoul of some random ass pirates, so that's going to come back later.
Oh yeah, that was some good, gun work they had going on there.
Yeah, had to get a nice space fight. Show Mando's new ship, his little Naboo cruiser. He's got a little starfighter that he's got.
Hey, that shit was funny when they was like, "Oh, Mando, you have to give up, blah blah blah." I'm like, he could just step off at any moment, right?
Yeah, he's got the hyperdrive in that jump. It's like, I'm just gonna skate, bro.
I was like, he could just step off on y'all right now, right?
Well, most of those don't have hyperdrives in them too. So when people see those ships, like, yeah, it's fast, but you're not gonna. What the fuck? And he's just like, yeah. Because what's her face from Amy Sedaris' character? I forgot her name in the show, but. Yeah, hooked them up with the hyperdrive, the Naboo starfighter. Again, there was a whole funny as shit that they put that in the book of Boba Fett. Because it's like, yeah, this show's not doing good. Just put this Mandalorian episode in there.
Yeah,
Put that shit in there.
much.
Get the ratings back up. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett was a mess, but overall, I really love what they're doing with Star Wars, man. Dave Filoni verse. You know, we got Bad Batch too, and one of the biggest Easter eggs in the episode that I feel like a lot of people miss who didn't watch Rebels, the fucking space whales. The space whales are a big fucking deal.
That's a space whale.
It's a Purrgil. And like the Purrgils are from Rebels, and like they're these like whales that can go into hyperspace. But it all ties back to Grand Admiral Thrawn, which who was mentioned last season by Ahsoka and stuff like that. That's going to tie heavily into the Ahsoka show and into Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra Bridger, who I think they say has been cast now. So we're really going to get a live action sequel to Rebels, which is just I have no words for how happy that makes me. Even the people who didn't like Rebels, just to get that is going to be amazing, to be able to follow up to see what happened to Ezra and what happened to Thrawn. Because it basically, the spoiler alert for the end of Rebels, but like Thrawn is taken away by Purrgil. Like Ezra uses the Purrgil to take him and Thrawn into hyperdrive them somewhere in the universe. So like Ezra is lost at the end of the show. Thrawn is lost at the end of the show. And that's why Ahsoka during the Mandalorian last season was looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, because she's looking for Ezra. And Ezra and Thrawn disappear together. And Thrawn also one of the most dangerous Imperials that there was. Like Thrawn is up there with like, not up there with powers, but in terms of being as dangerous, up there with like the top people like Tarkin and shit like that. So Thrawn is like a real force to be reckoned with. Really cool villain. And also like it ties into Ezra, who's like the Jedi and the main character of the Rebel show. And that's like Ahsoka's mission at the end of Rebels was like, we're going to fucking find Ezra and, figure out, make sure Thrawn is dead. And that's where we're going to, so seeing the Purrgil for the first time in live action is like, holy shit, we're going to do it. We're going to get to Thrawn. And I think Thrawn might end up being the big bad of this Star Wars, TV universe, since there's no Vader at this point. Maybe Thrawn was helped get the First Order together or something. It's going to be Thrawn, because they didn't name drop him in that Ahsoka episode for no fucking reason.
Okay.
And now that we've seen the Purrgil, it's definitely going in that direction. Like that, the Purrgil never mentioned outside of Rebels. No one has ever mentioned those fucking space whales. So
it's called a Purrgil.
Yeah, Purrgil, one of those. But yeah, from Rebels. People who watch Star Wars Rebels will know what's up.
All right. Mando is back, everybody. We will be breaking it down because that is a wonderful show. Even if you don't, know much about Star Wars, it's still a good show to watch for the action and the cuteness factor with Grogu and there's slight humor and stuff, and it could get you into Star Wars. All right. Last section. Still, and I say still, a perfect show. The Last of Us, everybody. The Last of Us is still amazing. I mean, look, didn't really a lot happen last episode, but we do get a look back into Ellie's, relationship and friendship with Riley and how that went. I wasn't I was privy to the situation, but I didn't play the video game to know that much and how deep it went back. So what I would like to do is allow you to, enlighten everybody on what they saw last episode.
We basically just saw the DLC. This is the Left Behind DLC episode that we looked like we were getting. Everyone's kind of expecting, and it was just a really faithful, not at one-for-one retelling, but very extremely faithful retelling of the DLC. Like that's pretty much what we got. This show, made us little changes here and there as it's done to enhance it, but like we got the Left Behind DLC, and it's fantastic, just like what the Left Behind DLC is. Like you said, even though some people said, "Oh, it didn't move that," like it is very important because it shows you how Ellie got bit, the whole circumstances of how she got bit and found by the Fireflies, who Ellie was and what the fuck she was even doing before she became humanity's savior. Like who the fuck is Ellie? Is basically what this episode is. Like, who is Ellie? Not just as a plot device, but who is Ellie as a character? before she, was the savior or whatever. And just, what is she into? What's her, what was her life like in military school? They keep talking about the Fedra school, but what is Fedra school like?
Right.
How does that work? So I love when they flesh out the world like that. They just had this caste system of like, if Fedra says you're going to be a trash man, you're going to be a trash man the rest of your life. So you can see why people want to be fireflies, or you can kind of see Fedra's point of view a little bit too. Like, we're just holding the order, we're holding it together.
Shit forever. That's your job.
Somebody has to do it. So it's just like I see a little bit, but you just getting a little bit of everything. So, but yeah, great episode again. Bella Ramsey continues to impress me as Ellie. Like I said, I was a little skeptical when she was cast because she doesn't look like Ellie, doesn't, I didn't know if she, I only saw her in Game of Thrones. I didn't know anything outside of that. And that was a pretty minor role, even though she was awesome in Game of Thrones. But it's like, let's see. But it's like, no, she's killing it.
Hey, if they, sorry to cut you off, but if they were to do the show like 10 years ago, who'd be a perfect Ellie?
So,
Elliot Page.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like way back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, fresh out of Juno, the movie Juno, she would have been a perfect Ellie. She looks just like her. Yeah. And she can act too. I mean, he can act too. Yeah. But go ahead.
No, I like that they have the original actors, who played them in the video games in the show. Marlene is being played by Marlene, from the video games. Troy Baker is going to be in the episode next week, who's Joel in the games, and Ashley Johnson has a role. And then some point in the next 2 episodes, it was Ellie in the game. So I think it's cool. Oh, and Tommy was a dude who got his head ripped off by the bloater in that episode. That was Tommy from the games.
That was great. So you touched on it a little bit, but tell people what they can expect from the rest of the show, especially next week's episode. Well, 2 days from now, or a day from now, actually.
All right, we're getting 2 bangers. I mean, I don't know how they're going to play the ending, but 9 is the finale. 8 is going to be, based off the preview, a fucking fantastic banger. This is the portion of the game where Joel is injured, like he is now. Like, the injury happens a different way, but basically the same circumstances. Joel is healing, he's out of commission, and Ellie has to fend for herself, and then she comes across some wild ass niggas, and then she's got to do it without Joel. Like, she has to take on a group of crazy, I don't want to spoil how wild they are, but they wild. Like,
we'll see it.
Yeah, but like they wild, and Ellie, and they're dangerous, and they're fucking really bad news. So this is the portion of the game where you have to play as Ellie for the first time, and you have to really do shit without Joel. Because through the most of the first game, 90% of it you're playing as Joel. And you're fucking so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It looks like it's gonna be amazing. They're gonna play it very, very, very cool. And then the finales is gonna be one of the best finales in gaming history, one of the best stories I think that's been told in any medium, man. I think The Last of Us just really has one of the best endings I've ever seen in anything. And it leads directly into The Last of Us 2. So we're gonna get another season, at least, maybe 2 seasons, but at least another one. They're gonna cover The Last of Us 2, and I'm excited. I'm just excited to see how well they're nailing it, and if they can improve upon The Last of Us story, nuance it and flesh it out. Can imagine what they can do for The Last of Us 2, which again I like more than most people. So
they want to make sure they lift weights just like Natalie Portman did for Love and Thunder.
Somebody got to be Abby. Got to get them Abby soul.
All right, now that is all the topics for tonight, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the new episode of Channel Orange. Please hit up our sponsors. That is Jova Wellness. That is Gwad Aiden, GWAD number 8 in Nate Dogg spelled backwards. And thank you everyone for listening to us. Tell a friend about Fire Squad. Tell someone you love them. Gang.
FSOD. Burn up.
FSOD.
FSOD.